real street nigga shit.
The Mozzie way.
Butcher coming, nigga. My nigga Chambers and this bitch. Big BSF, Big Griselda.
Emerged from the slums, I had to get it off the corner. Rest in peace, tats and tees, it's all on it. I still got fiends that own me since back in 9-8. Trapping out the crib, bagging up on 9 plates. Always had beef, so I stayed with a butcher. 4 cell phones like Master P, I got the hookup. Mac with the extendo, 200 air holes. Quick to let it fly, funny vibes and weirdos. Black Timbs, bloodhound brim to the death of me. Grab the passport for any jet that's next to me. If I go broke, I hit the strip, that's the recipe. Ain't 3 for 10, it's 5 for 20, I change the energy. Locked down, 52 cars worth of push-ups. Now I take flights every morning when I look up. Could tell by the pendant, I'm still independent. Yeah, them niggas signed, but they know we near winning. I had to get it off the corner. Late nights to the morning. Take flights, yeah, I'm on it. I had to get it off the corner. I had to get it off the corner. Late nights to the morning. Take flights, yeah, I'm on it. I had to get it off the corner.
This for Louis V, that ain't out yet, and paper that ain't count yet. Them hitters pop up on you unannounced like a house guest. I used to go and gamble my strip money and bounce that. Now a nigga pay quarter brick money for outfits. Higher prices for the coke, and we riot when it's smoke. Water dripping jewels like a fire hydrant when it's broke. What you know about being up early? Fire in a roach. Fiends at my trap, 8 a.m. whining for the dope. I'm a chemist, nigga. I could teach science with the fork. Christian Dior kicks, Gucci Tiger on my shorts. I adapted quick. I feel like this was made for niggas. I sold dope too, shot at, robbed, and prayed for niggas. Y'all should be giving me thanks. I'm literally great. I'm rich. I could turn the hood bitch into Hillary Banks. I met a plug last week, now we sending me freight. Now I'm out filling these safes like M&T Bank. Yeah, my last album wasn't Grammy conversation. You ain't lit till you hit a bitch with Grammy nominations. Feds don't believe I'm up from getting merch off, so I'm getting stopped by TSA with the search dogs. Let's go.
I had to get it off the corner. Late nights to the morning. Take flights, yeah, I'm on it. I had to get it off the corner. I had to get it off the corner. Late nights to the morning. Take flights, yeah, I'm on it. I had to get it off the corner.
The Mozzie way.
Man, you already know what it is. It's King Ace Network. It's King Ace Moments of Clarity Show. I'm in the building with my guy D-Chamberz, man. What's good, bro?
What's going on, man? You know we here live in the flesh, man.
You already know what it is,
front
man.
and center, you know what I mean?
Hey, yo, man, talk to me, man. Explain to me your grind right now, bro. Because literally, every time I see a poster, every time I see an event going on, Hot 97, showcases, bro, you everywhere, man. And you've been doing this consistently that I know of for over 10 years, man. Explain your grind and explain to the people why you never gave up.
One, I already convinced myself this is how I want to, live the rest of my life, like at least be in the music business.
Right.
So I didn't just really look at the music anymore. Like I started keeping that, I would say warrior mentality, which also turned into like a mogul mindset. You know what I mean? Because like once I realized from the underground to work in the clubs, to work in the strip clubs, to work in the radio, to work in the stages, I always was intrigued by the things that was behind the scenes and things that keep you going.
Okay.
So like once I understood there was a value in what I'm doing, it made me want to do it more. And I think the more people I met along the way, I understand how the journeys go. Because everybody want to live off what they love doing. Some people don't have the passion to keep going. So that's why, like with me, I don't have passion. I'm possessed. And like I'm intrigued by those that want.
That's different.
Yeah,
That's
like
different.
They may have passion. I'm possessed. And I study, like, when you watch the 50s, you watch the J's, you watch the, Master P's, like even the Nick Cannons, the Rick Rosses, Like, whatever you say about the music, their business kept them in the game.
That's a fact.
And it kept them at a high. All they got to do is work hard, just as hard as somebody who's talented. But you know, talent outbeat somebody if they're not working, especially if they're not investing in themselves.
Hard work
Right.
definitely beats everything else.
Right.
Let's take it back to the year that you started, right? What year was that?
Sheesh. I could go back to like South Carolina, like when I was just banging on the wall thinking I was doing something even then. And I would say late 90s. Like, we talking like 7, 9, 8, like young, like out
So
there.
you-
Yeah, but I didn't really know anything, but I knew how to do like jingles to try to get the radio, always try to pay attention to contests. You know what I mean? But I wasn't really in it because when I came back to New York, I took that down south mindset, like, yo, I need a car, I need
And
this.
brought that to the city.
And I think that's where all of that mindset came from, because like in South Carolina, shout out to 10 Mile Owendor, Mount Pleasant, there's no cabs, there's no trains, there's no consistent buses.
You need a vehicle out there.
You
shit.
need, and to do that, you got to stand at the end of the road, get a ride. You got to have money in your hand to get to the next place, and
Right.
until you get your own car, and then you do the same for others. So when I came with that mindset back to New York, I already realized a lot of people were just comfortable, right? And then, you know, they may was talent, they may was fire, they just didn't want to do certain things. And I think over time, I started answering my own questions. So like, when people like Chambers, you've been in the game for a while, but I say I learned doing the business the last 7 years. You know what I mean? Because a lot of the years was just supporting other artists while I do music. You know what I mean? I can't even really name too many singles in my early career because they was like either freestyles or other people's songs.
Nah,
And-
I get what you're saying.
You know what I mean? And then once I started zeroing in, then you could say it was like double digits. You're going to say Fred. You're going to say Uncle
definitely.
Murder. You're going to say those type of names because it was out there that I was the artist.
Okay, so what was your, like, let me ask you a question, like, what was your first, like, real experience that gave you that drive or that driven that you talking about, like, you know, from the beginning, like you saying you know, you look at 50 Cent and you know, you inspired to be like you do, so where's that first experience for you?
I hate to sound cliche. It was a time I always used to go to Mental Supreme training camp, right? And that was like every Tuesday, $10, you get to rap. But that list was like, I'm talking about you had to be there till 1 a.m. And you know, when I seen like certain people out to pick out of the litter, which is going to the next level in music, like, cause I could say I know people that progressed. But then when you be like, yo, all he did was this, and this. And I realized the truth is a lot of people just wait for investments instead of being the investor, doing the things to be the investor. People just want an investment. So a lot of
Hold up. Say that again.
Yeah, that was.
a lot of people don't try to figure out how to be the investor. They busy looking for an investment. Like the people that invest in them,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? They want to always look, oh, we got to write a proposal. We got to get this much signatures to get this much. Me, I'll be like, yo, if you do this, you can do this. You know.
So you're saying people not really trying to bet on themselves like that?
How about this one? Even if they are betting on themselves, they just don't go the extra mile. You know what I mean? Because it's always the
Nah,
extra
that makes
mile.
sense.
Because like
That makes
even little
sense.
things like that, like back in the days, like I wish I was, you know, I knew more because I always like to be, you know, I wasn't always the tough street guy. Like, you know what I'm saying? I went to college too. I went to night school. I had a car, a chain. I was in the streets doing, you know, I had best of both worlds. Anybody that know me. So I always had that mindset because when I came out from down south, I couldn't be a loser in the crib. So I had to start figuring my shit out.
You know what it always looked like from the fan perspective? It always looked like you was a nigga in the background that was always on.
But you know what it is? That came from because when you looking at the texture, what do you call on? Some people's success is different. You know what I mean? Some people probably look like, yo, he had a chain, he had a car, this, he got a girl. That's some people's success. But they don't know, like, there's another level. There's, you know, I hate to keep using that word level, but there's much more to it. You know what I mean? Because some people could you could work hard and that could just be paying bills. You know what I mean? Even no extra change. But some people don't go that far to even see it's like that. You know what I mean? So I don't know about I just knew I made the right decisions to put myself around people, whether we was in the streets or it was in the music. Like if you was getting money in the street, or that's what you're known for. You know what I mean? If you was in, not getting it, that's what you're gonna be known for too. You know what I mean? So a lot of the times I gotta give a shout out to Liaison. While I was in that phase, Liaison had the manager. Liaison brought Smack to the Hood, Come Up DVD, and we supported that. Even when he came from East New York, but he was just in Coney Island longer than he was in East New York, and we kind of bonded. So that's what made the music element get highlighted. Right. Because we was the first ones on Smack and on the Come Up DVDs. But once again, I still was a supporting artist. We were always freestyling, and there was no real structure at that time. You know what I mean?
Good thing you mentioned Smack, right? So let's go to the Smack era. And that, tell me, how everything got started and how everything was for you in that with, the NYB, the Dot Mob, break that down to me.
All right, first off, when I came home, I was thinking I'm on parole 08, 09, right? 08. I took a risk of going to Don Hills. Sycamore invited me to go there. I think Derek Jeter, a couple other people was there. Math was performing. I didn't know him at that time. I liked the song. He had a song called 80, Stick Up, Feed His Babies, whatever was going on at that time. When he got off the stage, we chopped it up. It just so happened that Liaison knew Norbs knew Math too. But, Liaison was being managed by Norbs at that time. So when Destro, when they had the professional hits, they was, giving Smack, sort of extra money because he was already getting the love. But when you saw 2, 3 videos of one DVD, they was investing into it. Right. So what happened was I had ran into some lawsuit money, and I started booking studio time in the city. I invited Math to come to the studio. And that's when I introduced Math to Liaison, and we was called Brooklyn Union first. It was Brooklyn Union. It was me, Liaison, and Math at the time. Math also was working with Bunky, H, Cash Cato, Bear. He had other artists he was working with at that time from where he was from, right? And me, Liaison, we from Coney Island. We got that going. So they created a meeting one day, and Beasley, I always stayed in tune with Beasley. And it was just when I came home, that was one of the numbers I had that was that could get me back in the game to understand.
So you always had a relationship with Bees?
Nah, you want to hear it? I knew them from meeting them downtown Brooklyn when they used to drop off the DVDs. Shout out to G, downtown Brooklyn. So you remember back in the days that era. That era when they drop it off, you could catch them. You know what I'm saying? Once again, not to use the word catch, but you could, today they call it a meet and greet.
Yeah. Yeah, now it's a meet and greet or a pop-up shop.
Yeah, it's a meet and greet. Yeah. You know what I mean? You just didn't know what was going on. So when I was going in, I told them I was going in. So when I came home, they already knew it wasn't long time. It was a little punky ass, some change, whatever. I came right back. Right. And I just dusted the phone off. So everything was just coming together. So Math came up with the idea. It was yo, this, let's all band together and let's, create NYB. So I said, let me call Cortez, because I knew Cortez from training camp.
I was waiting for when he was going to come in.
So I reached out to Cortez to be a part of it, to come to the meeting. They didn't even know he was coming to the meeting. So I was just yo, I'm bringing Cortez through. They was familiar with who he was. We just, we was talking. They all had ideas. But, somewhere down the line, Liaison wanted to just do Liaison. He wasn't, still focused on this project. He was doing a lot of other things. Outside of music, in a positive way. Right. So then we just kept going. So you saw me, Math, Cortez. So then I pulled Hands in. Hands is from Coney Island too. You know, I'm from 36, he's from 24th. He was always killing shit from day one. So I was like, yo, Hands, you need to. And then Core later on brought Hollow the Dawn on. So that's when it just went like,
Yeah.
so to ask the question about that, we was all in Zayek's studio. We was working on a record, not even 30 minutes. NYB to the Death is made. And then I'm just like, this shit is crazy. You know what I mean? And if you really think about that time, I don't know how other people may look at it, only Harlem was like on the DVDs a lot.
Yeah. Nah, it was mainly 90% predominantly Harlem.
You know what I mean? If you didn't have a name like
Right.
the Papooses or the Uncle Murders or like whoever was.
Harlem, Philly.
Or Shay Davis at that time, you was
Harlem,
not
Philly.
on the DVD. No disrespect, but that's just what, when we created that friction, like when Math created that, he need to battle Rex or Mook, and when he went at each other, we tapped into that frequency. So it became a fight for Brooklyn to really be heard on the DVD, and every day it was just getting exciting. And we had a lot of music, we was moving around a lot, and you know, that's what happened with the NYB thing.
So with that atmosphere, when that was created, and when the Hoffa and Rex battle happened, you was there, right?
Front and center.
Front and center.
You want to hear something crazy about that? Even before that, they had the Cypher, right? And it was just like Smack was buying time, whatever. I had bought Lil Fame, they invited him, he came with me. And they needed to just start doing ciphers. This is how crazy, like URL wasn't even structured yet.
Yeah, I
it was
remember.
like they had, you know what I'm saying? Big T.
Big T.
You know what I mean? LeBron James, the remains of him.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, all that happened. So within that time, it was just the artist that was there. And they was like, yo, let's get a cipher or something. So they said, me, Liaison, and I brought Hands there. And that's when he brought the logs out the chimney. Like, and he just went crazy. So Smack during that time, you know, he supported it. It was just like bringing a lot of things, like Brooklyn and Harlem, however they made it seem, but it was just a competitive sport. We just wanted to be heard. Our music was picking up. Now we getting booked for shows. We getting merch. Like, we was just doing things better, but, you know.
So the intentions never was to have, like, physical altercations.
NYB didn't stand for New York bullies. They gave us that. We're standing for Now You Believe. That was the original version of NYB. Now
so
You Believe.
y'all didn't name it New York Bullies?
Never.
So who gave y'all the name New York Bullies?
The streets did. When you realize we all 6 feet. You know what I'm saying? Like, we coming through like Space Jam superstars. You know what I mean?
I thought from day one it was always New York Bullies.
It was Now You Believe.
Wow.
I just told you it was like Brooklyn Union first. We had the song called More Shots. That's when Mav did something dissing Soulja Boy. Right? I don't know. You go back and check the game tape. It's called More Shots. And right after that, with the NYB to the Death, and then, you know, Mav threw the monkey. Like, Mav did a lot of shit to create that attention. And
he sold it. He definitely sold it.
But we had to get the music out there. So once we started dropping music, that's what always kept us like Voltron. Like, you know, sometimes we get caught up in our own stuff, and it was fine. But once we made a phone call, we would all like come together at one time. You know what I mean?
So with the battle rap thing, how come you never really like, you know, really like jumped in that ring? That never
I
really
always said I
was-
killed people off camera.
Did you ever get any offers?
Yeah, did anybody
Of course
ever try
I
to
did. When
book
I
you?
did that What If I Battle Rap, I pissed everybody off. You know what I'm saying? You know, but once again, that was just me being an artist, you know, trying to be heard, stand out. It wasn't just, if I said your name, that means because I respect or I see what you're doing. But right away, you know, when it sound like What If I Battle Rap,
Right.
it is what it is. But what I would say why I never really battled, because I like the business side of it. You could do both, but me personally, after somebody cursed me out and give me my bibliography, it's kind of hard to sit in the office the next morning and say, hey,
It is the business. Yeah, it is the business. But
nah, Beasley don't battle. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, his conversations is different. Smack don't battle, but his name is getting mentioned. Like, at one time, you know, now I see Nunu Nell's getting the same amount of attention. And then it was Rain. It's like whoever take that seat next to Smack is going to get rhymes galore.
Automatically.
Yeah, but I actually enjoy doing music. Some people, like me, I know how to stay in my lane and still be D-Chamberz. I do music. I do shows. I do great things behind the scenes. Filming, acting, Morris Chestnut of this shit. You know what I mean?
Everything.
Yeah, I do that. So, like, you know, so I wouldn't even want to play with the craft. Like, if you want to do a song and see how we perform on stage, that's a different battle, too.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Like a versus a little bit.
Whatever. Like, you know, performing is the real battle. Can you kill a show? Can you create events and pack a crowd?
Yeah.
When your name is on the flyer with another DJ, how many people are coming?
Come out.
I don't care, like, what you're talking about. And, like, for the last 4 of those years, I've been great in that department. And which, you know, without no deal, no major budget, this is all coming from me. Some days are better than others, but when I'm locked in, every day is great. And I notice, I realized, like, when people like D-Chamberz, you just, like, kind of, like, left the battle culture. Like, what happened with that? You know, what happened with it is that I don't battle. What if I...
Yeah.
How long
if I'm not battling...
I love everybody. I'm gonna stay there, you know, if I can get there. But then when I realized it was about me, then it was like a tug of war for support. But when you realize, like, they say anything, you be surprised where support comes from.
That's a fact.
I'm a firm believer of that. You know
So how's your relationship with everybody today?
We all a phone call away if it's that crazy. You know what I'm saying? It's like, we're like, yo, you going? Yeah, I don't know. Text, boom, boom. Everybody, we're all grown. We all in our own world. And I think it's peaceful like that versus being on the net, dissing each other and calling each other out our names when it's not even that deep. Like right now, it should be like new cribs, new storefronts, new business ventures, whatever's going on great in your life. This is part of our journey. This story will always be told.
Right.
You know what I mean? But I won't be on the losing end. I'm gonna always be looking like I was looking for the last 20 years. You know what I mean? Like, that's just from a young teenager to now.
That's always how you've been anyway.
I just changed the hustle. So it is. And you know what I mean? Sometimes, you know, what could also hold people back in their career or push them forward, or realizing some of the friends around you are cannonballs.
I was about to ask you that. I wanted to know, like...
No, sometimes you got to look around the room. If you realize, like, these the same guys that probably don't even be at your shows. They don't got your merch on. They, you know what I mean? Never gave you a ride when you really needed it. Like, you just start looking at things. And when you start looking at things, you like...
start doing the process of elimination.
I mean, yo, it's no way, no artist, I don't care where you at on this earth. You look around the room, you know who really... You know, who really fuck with you.
That's a
and you
fact.
know what I'm saying? Sometimes it's not just like, oh, you hot and we just go this way. Sometimes it's like, yo, the boy fucked up. You gotta hold him down. Like, they don't even ask. So then when you start moving around people that's doing what you're doing, you see that, like, okay, this is how it really is.
Yeah.
This is what's going on. And
you gotta surround yourself around
because, like, when I used to think, like, oh, yo, things is gonna come to me, yo, we just write our name on it. And, you know, we're going to be there and take this picture. Nah, you got to be aggressive. You got to be having something to sell, something to listen to, something to go to. And then, you know, then everything else will come. You know what I mean?
Yo, it sounds like you always been the one with the business mindset.
I can agree to that. You know what I'm saying? Like,
it sounds like you always been focused on business.
Everybody had, you know, their niche. Exactly what they could bring to the table or what they doing. You know what I mean? And it's funny you say that because that's what Math said 10 years ago. He said, yo, you should just manage all of us. But I knew Norbs was doing that. You know, I still being an artist. But like I said, even my manager, Josh, also taught me, I'm willing to listen.
Yeah,
like I told you, while everybody's battle rapping,
Yeah.
I'm chilling with Beasley. You know what I mean? Like, I'll always get different perks because I always took the initiative to hear a different conversation. That's why even like when I talk to Drewski, we not just talking in the club, we talk after the club. We talk when things are not going on. Sometimes people only come around things are going on. You know what I mean?
How did that relationship transpire with you and Drewski and Hot 97?
Shout out to Josh, shout out to Chanel, Legion Media Group. I knew Drewski when he was like working with Angie Martinez and Phone Flex, like it was no slot. You know what I mean? He was just Drewski at I-97. You know what I'm saying? Like, and then like I think when Angie Martinez left, people was just getting bumped up. And I always, we always stayed in contact. And Josh, my manager, I booked him for his first, I think, hosting or something like that in Manhattan. And so we always just kept that relationship like 12, 14. You think about 14, then I'm on the radio with Fred. 15, we South by Southwest. So as he was going up, we was going up. So like Hip Hop Mike supported me. RP K Slay, he's supported me. I was on K Slay Drama Hour first before, and like I was just realizing even levels with that. I was just like, yo, even with the hardcore hip hop music, a lot of us good brothers don't support the hard working, hardball brothers. You gotta do the thing that's gonna get you some money in the club. So once you start upping the music towards like the self hours, the envy hours, you know what I mean? When you start going that direction, you see why people do music. You start to get paid. People want to do the feature. You gotta do things that, put it on the map, man. You know what I mean? So some people here for fame, some people to get paid off it. Like, you see what direction I'm headed.
Straight business, trying to get paid.
That's why I say I follow, I made a lot of mistakes in my past, but now, like, with good business, that'll patch that up. Like, because, when you get to a level, people at some point just got to deal with you.
You just said that you made a mistake in your past. Like,
sometimes when you should have been did it, you should have did it. That was the mistake.
Okay. Was it procrastinating or
no? It was just
not doing
it was just not doing it. That like if like yo, I should do this like this way, but you just doing the regular routine over and over. Sometimes you gotta change that routine. And once you start changing that routine and changing that mindset, everything changes. When you hear that over Instagram and TikTok over and over, it's not a joke. You know what I mean? Because once you tap into that frequency, there's no way you can lose. There's no way. You know what I mean? And I think when I say that as far as music, like, it was times where I know I should have said something to the DJ before. You know what I mean? We all cool now, but before I used to be like, oh, he got to talk to me. Or I got to get there, and why he ain't DM me, he ain't answer my DM, like corny stuff. When you really didn't just put the legwork in and create that demand to where it's undeniable. And then the other thing is like, I learned that everything in life double fold. You can help people too along the way. Mm-hmm. I was around a lot of people that just didn't want nobody around them.
It's supposed to be each one teach one.
That's but that don't live in today's climate. And there's also that, the game's to be sold, not told.
Do you believe that?
I just told you said one thing and I told you the other side of it. That's what, at the end of the day, when we walk out of here, somebody gotta get paid.
You put it like that. You got a point. You got a point.
Right now, CONEY getting paid. You know what I mean?
Definitely.
You know what I'm saying?
Every month they getting paid.
All right, FTC, they getting paid. You know what I'm saying? And then sometimes people don't look at it like that. You know what I mean? So people be like, yo, he ain't call me up. You gotta up the value. And I think with the music, the content, everything I was saying, I started heading that direction. And sometimes I realized maybe I outgrew what I used to do. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Sometimes it's growth. That's necessary.
Yeah, you learn every day. Every day you learn. You know what I'm saying?
It's never supposed to be a moment where you're not learning.
Right.
But now let's get to your music. All the features you got, right?
Right. Shout out to Meth. Shout out to Benny.
Who was your favorite one? Your personal favorite feature?
Honestly,
who was your favorite and who you were surprised to get on the feature with?
Of course, Method Man. You know what I'm saying? That was crazy. But people don't know I did songs with Lil Fame too. People be thinking that's just the first legend I did a song with. Right. I did songs with Lil Fame. Lil Fame was the first one to like really co-sign me. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like when I started stepping into the D-Chamberz rap direction. Like he was he was too busy on tour. Like I couldn't sign no deal, and you going for 2 years, brother. Like I gotta move around. Like, I would say Method Man was definitely the shocker.
Did y'all do that song? Did y'all record it together or?
Nah, what happened? We was in the pandemic. So what happened was in the pandemic, I was at China Mac video shoot, and he was like, "Yo, Chambers, why we don't got one?" And then I made sure the next day I had something.
So
Boom.
Meth said that?
Yeah.
Nah,
And that's because I met him prior before. You know when you keep saying, like one of those things where I never said nothing. I saw him at Math Double Barrel video shoot, didn't say nothing. Then Cortez have a video shoot. I wasn't able to get over there, or I didn't get the text. Whatever it was always something. But he always respected that I was from Coney Island, and then, you know, he's from Staten Island. Right. But one thing I always tell people, when you work, people see it.
Yeah.
It's undeniable. So, like, when you think nobody's really rooting for you, you be surprised who's watching. You know what I mean? And sometimes it's people who demand attention, and it's the people who just take what, you know, what this industry give them.
So the feature with Benny.
Right. Shout out to Benny.
How that transpired?
Shout out to Carlos. Carlos from Classic Material New York. Once again, I had that song with Manola Rose. I'm running around, I'm in the strip club. I'm in those vibes, right? He was like, Chambers, we need you back on, like, the, you know, how you was rapping when you was dissing battle rappers and
gutter shit.
Street shit.
Gutter
and I was like, and then he showed me like West Side Gun, Conway, and he was showing me the early Griselda music in like 2016.
Right.
And I knew they was coming to SOBs. So he made the call, was like, yo, he put me on the phone with them, and they was like, yeah, we on the block. They was still on the block doing shit, whatever. But then when I was looking at it, I was like, yo, Benny Butcher actually the most like, I resonate with, you know, I like Conway, I like West Side Gun, but I resonated with what Benny the Butcher was saying on certain records. I always know it didn't matter what record.
Song too.
It didn't matter what record I heard him on, to the point where like Rubber Bands and Weight came out. He was performing with, you know, Carlos linked us.
Hole.
Yeah, he linked us. So once I linked him, every time he came around, I'm like, oh, you in New York? I would just link. And then one of the times when he had the whole concert sold out right in Williamsburg, he was like, yo, Chambers, what's up? I was like, what's up? Like, I'll do the math. Whatever needs to get done, let's make it happen. And then we went to Umbrella Studios in the Bronx. Shout out to Cover, shout out to Charlie. Shout out to Capital One. He produced the beat. I swear, we didn't even get to like 3 beats. It was just like, I knew which one he was gonna go with. And then he don't, you know, he just does what he does. He don't write, so.
Who, Benny?
He don't write.
Same shit like Hov said, you do like, just keep going over it and then.
I don't know what they do, where they telepath to. They might be aliens. I don't know, bro. Like, you know what I mean? Me, I'm a 4-bar piece guard. I'll probably write my first 8, and then my energy creates the rest of the song. You know what I mean? Some people sit there and just think, and I'm like, oh, damn, this nigga waits for the studio time. Like, what's happening? And then they just walk in there and knock it out the park, one shot. Like, I seen it. You know what I mean?
So who you got next up on the feature list?
I've been working with a lot of people from my neighborhood. Shout out to 11224 boys. Shout out to Takeover Gang. I've been working with like T.O.G. Killer, the young boy. He hot.
Coney Island been on fire.
Yeah, he shoot his own videos, and you know, he recorded his own music. He shot my last 3 videos. We had that song Trending Topics. We've been pushing that, and I'm just working with, you know, I've been building up my neighborhood. You know what I mean? The people that really deserve shots in his music. And once again, I'm not trying to fake sign nobody. Everybody's doing their own thing.
Right.
We do records. Yo, this is where we at. If you pull up, you don't. You know what I mean? I also pay mindful aware of people who only come out when it's lucrative. You know what I mean? There's other stuff where it ain't even about it. Mm-hmm. We probably just going to support somebody else shit. Now you don't want to come. You don't got time for it. But when you see...
They feel like it ain't...
And that's a lot of people all over. It's a lot of people like that all over. And sometimes you could waste years doing that. This is what I be talking about. Because a lot of times you wait for people, you count on people, you got to make sure you know who's your most solid and run with them. Whether they artists, cameramen, videographers, producers. But once again, by the time you get to the age of learning that, you're a grown man.
Yeah.
You lose all your youth by the time you figure that shit out, because everything is fun in the beginning. Until the bills got to get paid.
In the beginning, you ain't really thinking about the business. You probably more so thinking about the fame.
You want the money.
You want the money.
Right. And you want somebody to give it to you.
Yeah.
But you grinding so hard to get it, but it's not like in your direct, but it's the grind. Like,
yeah, man.
It's going hard. It's going to work. But
yo, you know what? I always tell people, like, with me, when I do records, first thing I'll be like, yo, can we perform it? When I leave here, can I send this That's just how I think. Unless you tell me I'm going to Shade 45 or I'm going to knock out a cypher or a freestyle, you gotta tell me. Cause if we ain't talking like that right away, 9 times out of 10, I'm on the move, man. Like I don't have time for it, bro. Like,
so when you doing records, that's what you thinking. Like
I'm thinking when I'm working on album mode, I'm gonna give you album material. I'm gonna give you album material. You're gonna get pain, you're gonna get stress, you're gonna get current events. I'm gonna throw some subs in there. You're gonna know that shit is going on in my life.
Right.
And it's gonna give you a reason to tune in. You know what I mean? But we trying to get to the radio, we gotta see how to be creative. Can this rock it? Before I think about radio, I'll be like, can I perform this? Because if I can rock a crowd, it's good enough for radio. Like if you can't really be realistic with yourself to be like, I wouldn't perform this. This shit is more like in the car. Once you start talking like that, and sometimes people just keep recording. They sit in the studio so much, they don't even get no air.
They not even really doing.
They don't even know what's going on.
That they recorded.
They think they fired. Nobody know them. You know what I mean?
No, please. There's a lot of people.
Yeah,
like that.
that's super lab rat shit, man. I'm telling you, man.
man.
Yo, look. And a lot of times, people I used to say, I'm not gonna name drop. There was a lot of times I used to come through the studios. You could feel that energy when people know you coming and going. Mm-hmm. Like I'm not here to stay all day. They be like, damn, son, move it different. Yeah, I am, cause I got things I want to do, and it's sad because those same people, they'll tell your story later on. Then you got to come back and be like, yo, that wasn't the story. Why? You know what I mean? Because sometimes you just got to know the decision where you're going and stay firm with it. That's why I be like, know what you're getting into, invest into it, and, you got to be possessed. Because a lot of times people, they're doing stuff and they can't even tell you 5 things about themselves.
No, that's crazy. Because that do happen a lot.
When you say you put up, do you feel like from where you started at, right, to where you become and what you got going on, it's important that you get back to Coney? And when you do it, is it more because you see what's going on, or you feel like you kind of that making things happen because it gives you do a lot for yourself as well as for others? So
I'm gonna tell you the realest thing that happened, right? There's no such thing. I'm gonna bring it. There's no really such thing as a give back. Sometimes you're supposed to just do that. Give back is because you ain't never gave nothing. So it's like when you're always there and you're always contributing somehow, whether it's spiritually, physically, through words, presence, that's sometimes is your give back, just being around and people being inspired by what's going on. But I'll say this, when you take different initiatives, like I remember when I came back from Rolling Loud, I went to my mom's crib and I was just looking out the window and there was no rims on this court for the last 7 to 8 years. Instead of just being like, oh, damn, I knew my influence. I didn't, I took a wrong approach on Facebook at first. I'm like, yo, what's up with these nonprofit organizations? But it took for me to say something like that to get people to be like, yo, that's not how you do it. You do it like this. And, once I started learning how to speak to certain management of the buildings, owners of the complex.
The community boards and stuff like that.
Ain't no community board. It's them. You know what I'm saying? Never believe like the community board is doing something. Yo, this is what I go back to saying. Like,
no, this is a lesson you about to teach right now.
There's no disrespect to the good community boards out there.
Right.
Shout out to the ones who do govern what's going on. But here's the problem. I ran into that brick wall where I had to convince the owners of the building why it should be a court there, right? And then they was just like, yo, where are you gonna get the funding from? How much? What are you trying to do? I'm like, yo, listen, all you gotta do is put the rims. We'll paint the floors. They like when they was like, give me something that makes me believe that this is not just gonna be a hangout. Cause we, us brothers, they did mess it up. It was dice rolling. Things happen.
Right.
You know what I mean? But nothing has been happening, cause nothing's been there to do anything. And you wonder why everybody skinny, frail, looking like zombies. Kids not even getting fresh no more. Like, you know what I mean? Mad stuff that I grew up wasn't happening. You know what I'm saying? We idolized the hustlers. The cars is in the front. That's where I came from. You know what I'm saying? And when I'm looking, I'm like, these kids ain't inspired by nothing because they just letting this stuff just go on. So I reached out to a few people in the neighborhood. I was like, if I get this going, Y'all gonna have to watch it for me because I don't live here no more, but they know that. But my mom's just, we had to just get things going. So once I started putting that energy out there, what happened? We created that, I created this clinic, thing, you know, C-Rod's basketball clinic with some schedules, training dates, whatever. Shout out to Samantha Ross. She patched me in, gave it that. They granted me that.
Yo, that's dope, man.
Yeah, they granted me
dope,
that within like 72 hours. Something that took people 9 years, I got done in 72 hours. Not no petition, not no proposal. And you know what no disrespect, but you know, they gave me 3 garbage bags and broomsticks to make sure there was no trash left behind. We went to Home Depot. Once I put it on Facebook, then the donations came. Like people, whether they came, they gave food, they gave waters, they may brought speaker wires, they may brought extension cords. You'd be surprised what any little thing they give you matters. Right. So what happened? I created the tournament. So now the courts is up. This is the first time the court's been open in 9 years. You know what I mean? Now I'm out there like Joe Clark. Yo, turn out they took the rip. Like I'm out there losing my voice.
That's so dope.
Yo, pick up the trash, young homie. Yo, yeah, $5. Pick up the trash. Now I got kids respecting that dollar because now they'll clean up the whole court because they know they're gonna get paid. And they be like, yo, you want me to clean up the court? You want me to do something? Like, I created that energy back. You know what I mean? And this had nothing to do with rap. I was unplugged from this industry. I think from August 8th to September till I gave out them trophies. Shout out to Flex, shout out to Miguel, shout out to Smoke Gang Mac. It was people that was advocating with me. Jawanza, Miguel, you know, Miguel painted the whole court. He run his own paint. I kept it in-house. You know, people that was right from the complex. And when
a lot of dudes can't even say that they did this, man.
You know what it is? Sometimes it looks like it's too much. Sometimes it looks like it's too much to do, and you realize it's just a conversation. Sometimes, you know, when people just come from housing, they just count on housing and doing it. But when you're dealing with private property, yeah, your moms took it up a notch, but they also don't care either. You know what I mean? Not saying they don't care. They want something positive to happen. So with that being said, when he granted me that permission, when these guys and these owners came in the morning, they couldn't believe it. I met them there. They was like, wow. Now the community center gets open again. You know, if you can look, see Roz B-Ball, I had coaches from Oklahoma State watching the tournament. The best thing about this whole thing, the reward back, I says that, I did it in my hometown. You know what I mean? In C-Roz.
That's love. That's
right.
Respect right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So when we gave out the trophies and gave out that money, it was just a different light up for them kids. It was really like teenagers versus the olders. And the kids I picked out of high school won it. They beat older dudes, younger dudes. They packed them up. Like,
that's crazy, man.
You know, they said that was like my give back. They're like, yo, the young homies from my buildings won, and it wasn't rigged. Clock, ref, lines on the court.
Actual tournament.
Yeah, it's a 3-on-3. Go. And I had Isaiah Whitehead pull up. So when you have an NBA player pull up to your court that like nobody knew existed, then I'm like, yo, this is a different level of a give back. This is like done out of the heart.
Right.
You know, it's priceless. So when I think of stuff like that, stuff like right now I'm here and there's probably a kid shooting around on the court. Like this stuff is just, it's the real gift. So like my mind is like on another stratosphere. So even like with music, instead of swamping the artist in a bad contract, I'd rather be like, yo, what do you do on the side? Use that as your hustle. If you do the film shit, let's pump that. And you still rap, but sell this.
Because this is going to help you fund that.
And they're going to need you. If they don't need you, that phone not going to ring, bro.
Yeah. Yo, there's a lot of legends in Coney Island. But you know what? I'm not going to lie, bro. The shit that you just told me you just did and the way you just broke it down.
I know.
To me, that gives you Coney Island legendary status, bro.
You know, some people would say I already had it, but that just like, it tilted the scale.
Yeah, that was like...
It tilted the scale. You know, and know what keep coming in my head? Beanie Siegel. Real gangsters make hood holidays. So I know August 8th was the first day.
Make good holidays.
You know what I'm saying? Like, August 8th is when C-Roz got their courts back. Mm-hmm. You know what's happening. It's the tournament. It's go time. Like 500, maybe 1,000 be on the line this year.
I gotta pull up over there. Next
Yeah,
summer,
no violence. Maybe a little, things happen, but we all banded together, and it was a beautiful thing. And it's so crazy because parents I never spoke to, they probably looked at me in a bad light. You know what I'm saying? You just hear a story. Yo, Jamie. Sometimes I don't even have shit to do with nothing.
He running around with them NYB guys.
It's not even just that.
I think I remember you from just that one
Yeah,
time.
they like, you sold drugs, They forgot that that's the old you. So when you talking proper, I mean, like, this is not, I did time, it's not that deep, whatever you believe, you know what I mean? But when you show your actions and, because a lot of times that's what people get mixed construed because they think you have to act another way to get respect. When it really is, the people respect a businessman. You know what I mean? You gotta be firm, but you gotta.
I gotta ask you this question, right? Because you were just talking about how people viewed you, right?
Mm-hmm.
I want to know: did anybody label you a certain way, or did anybody ever judge you a certain way because of your relationship with Math and how he handled situations like the concept of Math? Did that ever rub off on you and people looked at you?
I know I never dealt with the same pressure other people had to deal with. You know what I'm saying? Because, like, I was even the person to even dead shit or find a reason to be like, yo, this shit not even important. Because the reality is, I just came from the mountains. Nobody want to go there. This shit, it's not that deep, bro.
Right.
And a lot of times, it didn't really go to where somebody got shot. So it was always music. But I also tell you, what do you expect from battle rap? You're getting the full package.
Just like,
in battle rap, it's the full package. You say something crazy, this may happen.
it may happen.
Right? So you know this. Sometimes when these guys is rapping, they know what they're saying. So some people will go for it, some people didn't. Unfortunately, NYB as a group wasn't going for it at that time. And, and it just like tradition just keeps going. But also at the same time, a lot of people, what I do give credit to is the ones who made it commercial to where it's lucrative and they eating off caffeine. Adam is, 6-digit checks going out there. And, people like superstars is being a part of it. That's what's up because now that's another level that young artists could try to get to. They be like, yo, I want to get $20,000 a battle. You want to be those guys.
You see how the business elevated.
If you serious like that, but like if you joking back and forth and you losing here and there, this ain't for you.
Yeah, and it ain't gonna be no money in
it. It ain't for you, man.
Especially if you ain't packing it.
One thing,
filling out the venue and stuff like that.
One thing I always say, and another thing I remember like it was yesterday. I was like, man, fuck this. I'm doing music straight on, man. You can post anything you want. Battle rappers are just comment to diss you. Like I'll be like, yo, bacon, egg, and cheese sandwich. Yo, you trash, man. I'm like, what the fuck that got to do with the bacon, egg, and cheese sandwich? I saw you next to Math, nigga. Y'all niggas is suckers. Who are you? My music better than yours. Like, and I'm like, yo, I can't deal with this all day. Like, and this like every time it's battle time, my name coming up, I'm like, yo, who is this? Like, I'm always like that. Cause let's not forget, it's like support is one thing, but when you getting heckled, that you got dudes like Charlie Clips on big platforms dissing you. You got Verb dissing you. You got Goods. I'm like, yo, we always just drinking. What the fuck you doing? And because what happens is when that get deflected on YouTube, people think like, yo, niggas diss you all day, man. Get the fuck up out of here, man.
Yeah.
Like niggas in my hood, they may like, nah, we don't like that, man. When you keep getting those calls like, yo, Chambers, I don't like that. So what's up with that? Then I have to be like, no, man, just saying. You know what I mean? Because I move a certain way. We all move a certain way, but I ain't going to keep doing this either. So I got to do something that's not getting me dissed.
Right.
You know what I mean? Shit like that.
You ever have to check somebody, man?
You want to hear something? I never really had no issues with nobody other than had ice in the barbershop with Math. Like, other than that, and that was just a misunderstanding. And like I said, like, battle rap shit. Because he battled Nims. He talking about, oh, I knew something about his baby moms, but knowing damn well I didn't know nothing. And I always tell Nims, like, why you just don't go and say, I didn't tell you this shit. And he just like, man, fuck that shit. Like, you know what I mean?
It's battle rap shit.
Yeah. And then I'm like, but me, here it is, once again. And like, shout out to the blogs 050 and Harlem Mike. They always like, oh, this is digital Hollywood. And I was like, That's what this shit is, man. And then like Hassan Campbell, you know, I listen to these bloggers too, man.
Yeah.
And you know, that's why when they was asking me, is media important? Media is very important. Media is what you can see an artist's true characters with his mindset at.
Right.
Sitting down, talking. Because if he ain't saying nothing, then he's saying something foul or fucked up, and you know where he's heading.
When you listening to the artist's music, sometimes you can't even tell. You don't know if that's really them.
See, but
There's so many personas where the music, unfortunately, the music makes the person, but sometimes the music really ain't that person.
you want to hear something, and that's why a lot of the same artists you just named are not successful. Like, cause that era of like, you know, you gotta be able to attach things to that artist to why you support them.
Right.
And a lot of times it's just nothing. You know what I mean? Like I said, I rap that warrior mentality. You're gonna hear like, yeah, I went through shit, but you're gonna hear the hustler side of me. You're gonna hear like, yeah, I heard that, but this is what we're doing now. Like, when you listen to DMX, RP, he was talking about the pain coming from a dog. Like, he robbed dudes and prayed at the same time. Mm-hmm. Benny, he's the hustler. He's the, you know, he's telling you about Graham's work, this. He's not doing it no more, but he's just telling you need to get more money. You know what I mean? It's just different messages in the music. A lot of times it don't be no message, it just be the vibe at the moment. So that's why I'm like, when I gotta tell my older friends, nah, this is actually fire. And that's only because I seen what it does in the club.
Right.
Now, if we're talking on a Sunday watching the game, they're like, yo, man, turn that shit off. You know, when you're a certain age, you know, the sound just sound different. You know what I mean? Just like our parents probably said Al Green and these guys, Ron Isley is real R&B.
Yeah.
And they're not trying to hear what Chris Brown's saying or these other guys. They're like, that's not R&B, that's trash. You're like, what? You wildin'. Like, you know what I'm saying? But this is what times of music has changed over and over. And that's what the part people don't really grasp. So that's why when I put out the project Boom Bap to Drill Rap, a lot of people just thought I was just going to stay at drill rap. No, I was just saying my sound is endless. I could do both. Yeah. This is why I got records with Fabi. You know, I've been around Fabi and these guys before. They blew, like, and supported them and put them on stage. Same shit. And it's all love to this day. It's what position you put yourself in, can you stay relevant?
Right.
That's what this music shit is.
Now, you got a show, right?
Right.
You got your radio show, right?
No time for the small talk.
How was that for you running that, man?
You know what's crazy? I gotta give a shout out to my team too, because when you got, you know, like Josh doing what he doing, Chill's doing what she doing, Five Stacks doing what he doing. When you have people, and then you got, you know, different cameramen you work with, you pull in 5 to 6 different energies every week. It takes one day. And like, you know, I always used to say, yo, I'm D-Chamberz, no time for the small talk. Who knew I would take that part and make it a radio show? And like, when, you know, as soon as it sound like we in agreement, man, we got time for the small talk, change the subject. We already shifting mindsets. So every time a young kid is sitting there, this is like a stepping stool when he goes to his next interview. You know how many young talent we meet, authors, different dancers. We get different perspectives from everybody. But one thing, we just don't have time for the small talk. And it just keeps me going because there ain't shit else to do on Tuesday. You know what I mean? So, yeah, I'm pulling up and we go, you know, you come in, all right, we talk. And, you know, sometimes we going viral. Sometimes, you know, it's good to just hear how people think. You be shocked. You be really shocked.
So with the radio, man, it's like, how difficult is it sometimes to deal with the artists that you have pull up to the radio?
I really don't be having no problems.
Well, enlighten us, cause.
You know, I'll be honest with you, I really don't be having no problems because, like, once again, I gotta thank my team because once I created the page, once you created the page, they go by what they see. If they see certain people that's there, they respect it on that level. But if it don't look like something that they could like respect, that's how they're gonna act like it. Even down to the texting in the DM, even down to how you ask the artist. Like, and then to back it up, who's the person in the room that they would want to see? That they go through all of that. You know what I mean? And there's no disrespect to nobody. Basically. Yeah, if they go to your page and they got more than you already, they like, why should I go here? Mm-hmm. These kids, but when you catch them kids who got like 5K, 2K, maybe 900, they're coming. And they probably coming with more money than the person who's acting like they got all the money. You know what I mean? And vice versa. And then sometimes when your shit start booming, some people see certain people come on them on
then
that
they
night.
Want to double back.
They want to come on that same night. They might just pop up like, yo, I got my new shit, yo, what up? And then you got to deal with that. But what I also say is that it works for me because not only I get to meet different people for different things, from fashion, film, you name it, I drag that right to Trappers Only, which is the same concert series that I run. So like artists always gonna get something from me. Like even like I could know what this artist is gonna do before I even get there. I don't even have to be there. The list could be there and my team will run it, pull up.
Hey, yo, you dropping a lot of jewels, man.
Yeah, you know.
A lot of jewels.
I hope they're listening.
Nah, y'all need to be listening.
Yeah, because some people be like, yo, he Kanye in it. They don't want you to give the game out. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes when you looking at it, like, you know, you can't just say reckless shit. But sometimes saying the shit you need to hear sounds reckless.
Now, for the podcasting, right? You know, we all seen you on Math's My Expert Opinion and stuff like that.
Great show, by the way.
Yeah, good. Like Scott, yo, that shout outs to Math, man. He doing his damn thing. How was that experience? And are we gonna see you up there more often?
Yo, I'll be honest with you. I guess when it's something to talk about, I'll be up there. You know, because we're all busy. Because you know, he has different film dates. He has, you know, he got to climb that ladder. He got a lot of stuff going on.
Right.
You know what I mean? I got to do what I'm doing. Whenever he need me up there, all you got to do is just give me a call. You know, that's how that goes. Because sometimes I always say, you know, sometimes when you over-support, you forget what you're supposed to do. Sometimes you can be like, yo, I'm supposed to do this. I'll wait till tomorrow. You never know what you would have done if you just focus on what you needed to do. Yeah. And if it's clear and it makes sense for you, then yeah, I'm there. It's never no, oh, no, I'm not going. I don't have that. We talk, we text when we need to. Like, we busy. That's how it goes.
What do you think really happened between the situation with him and Heineken and Esso?
Sheesh, whatever they put on the internet is what happened, you know what I mean? You know, I think it's, you know, you never know, because you know why? We wasn't there.
Right.
The worst thing to do is talk about shit and you don't even know. You know how 5 people could tell you how the movie is and be like, yo, that movie wasn't like that? You could play the same movie,
right,
and people saw it 5 different ways. You know what I mean? Nah, Rocky threw it right. No, he threw the left first. Like, nah, like.
It's always going to be speculation,
I don't know. They all good guys to me. You know what I'm saying? Keep getting money. But even if, you know, you're not a part of the situation, continue to get money. You can't stop.
What do you feel is the pros and the cons of doing the showcase? And what some of the stuff you had to do?
People forget that it costs money for the showcase. That's the number one. You know what I mean? Because sometimes, like, well, I was just saying, like, when you come as an artist and you start taking that approach, doing things that they used to seeing a machine do. What I mean by machine, they used to go on the Barclays Center, they used to go on the Madison Square, they used to go on the Apollo, and they never saw the people behind the scene.
They never had to do it themselves.
They never had to do it themselves. Yeah. So when they coming through, they're like, oh, I know. Yo, let me get in, man. Yo, I'm at the door. That's one problem. The other problem is when you get in the door, you ready to go, like, now. Like, it's like there's a whole system going on here. Sometimes people are not ready for a system. They be like, man, well, fuck that nigga, man. I ain't coming back to this shit. Yo, what to my mother? That nigga better not say nothing to me.
Yeah.
But it don't, that be right then in the moment. Why? Because they didn't have it their way right away. But sometimes when you have a structure, you eliminate all of that.
Yeah.
These artists get time slot. If you just tell niggas to come around 9 to 12, everybody's coming when they coming. When you create your structure, then you know what's going on. And you got to know what artist you're inviting. If you know that's that type of artist, then you might not want to invite him. You may want to wait till the next one. Maybe you don't want to do it, you know what I mean? But sometimes when you don't do things hands-on, they can't blame you. That's why I shout out to my team. Because I want to come in, I want to rap too. At least I did this. I ask everybody in this room, what's the most important piece on the chess table? What's the most important piece? I'm asking y'all.
Oh, you asking us?
Yeah, I'm asking y'all. What's the most important piece on the chess table?
Pawn.
You say pawn. Okay, that's yours. What's yours?
King.
Okay, what's yours?
Rook.
Okay, what's yours, homie?
King.
Okay, you want to hear mine?
What?
The fucking board. Because if I take the board, ain't nobody playing. You got to create the foundation for people to play. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? Like,
Man,
you know what I'm saying? And this is what the shit that people forget. Ain't no rook, ain't no pawn shit.
without the board.
Without the board, ain't no rules, ain't no regulation.
Yeah, nah, that was a bar.
Nah.
That was a bar right there, man. Damn, yeah, that was a bar. Like, oh man, damn. God damn, yo, wow, that was crazy.
Pawn, you ain't got nothing.
Man,
Nigga was just setting niggas up, so you ain't mine? Yeah. Boom!
no board.
Yo, but
That's
yo,
crazy, man. That's crazy.
nah, but and at the same time, with like sometimes people forget the rules, go with the book with the game.
Thinking like a creator.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? A lot of times, you know what I mean? That's just, and when I started thinking like that, you know, it comes from broke nights. Bills coming. You know what I mean? You gotta start thinking, you gotta be very crafty because everybody's doing the same thing you're doing.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
you gotta be
And
different.
then you gotta stay busy. You gotta, you know, parents, look, where you at and are you burning yourself out? Are you adding value? Are you watering it down? And a lot of times people don't like to be at shit that's watered down. So when you come in with energy and you handpick it, now it feels like a more selective thing. People want to be there. That's why people like bust their ass to go to Rolling Loud, because it's not normal. You know what I mean? So people come with that energy and shit. The only thing I knock it is why y'all don't pay $300 like they do too. You go see the same people there and you watch your man just like, yo, I got $200 for a ticket. But you want to give me 30? Man, go ahead, man. Y'all niggas better.
And, yo, actually, them tickets is way more than that.
No, I'm just saying, because like, all right, when my experience.
But you prove the point though. Niggas would pay $1,500 for a Rolling Loud ticket.
And stiff you right where the guests are in the trailer, because I seen it. And me, being the hustler I am, I'm back there like, I'm watching Ron Suno, K-Flock, them fight, everything. I'm like, damn, they all have $1,500 tickets? Like, oh, nah, they probably got like, all right, boom. It's like 200 people back here. You know, I'm thinking like they all spent $700, they all got customer bands.
Right.
But, you know, but once again, they say, well, Uzi ain't at your shit. You know what I mean? So they'll find a reason to smash your mic. Like, Rich the Kid ain't at your shit. You know what I mean? Like, Money Bag Yo ain't either.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, all right, you right.
Yeah, all right. Yeah,
You
all right.
right.
Nigga.
You
Yeah,
got
all
it.
right, nigga. Whatever.
But at the same time, y'all want to do the same thing. You want to get on the stage. You want the
Right.
lights. You want the DJ. You want to take that footage, act like you killed the whole night. You're not even going to shout a nigga out. Now, that's what I hate more about showcases than anything. Give the people a shout out. Yo, shout out for, especially if you ain't pay for a slot and niggas reached out to you, be like, yo, shout out to, you know, Chambers, Trappers Only, Drewski. Don't just shout Drewski out. That be the death kill too, you know what I mean? Because, you know, Drewski came because we do good business, we have a friendship.
Right.
That's what that is. That ain't him, because I could have told him meet me at Starbucks and pay for that too, and we would have been in Starbucks.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But instead, we here. So y'all can rap and say y'all the hottest in New York City. And me creating that platform, some people are very thankful and some people just overlook it. And that's the part of the showcase.
You wouldn't even be there if it wasn't for you.
I mean, today's climate, if everybody feel like they got the bag, they feel like they could get him too. But what you're forgetting is I got 12 plus years with this man. It's a
That's
different
what I'm saying.
conversation. Different
Y'all actually got a relationship outside of business.
100%. 100%. That's why I just like, you know, even outside of New York, me and him moved around. So it's not like it's just, you know, sometimes people be like, Chambers, yo, when you rap, you gonna just be the illest nigga in business. Cause I'll be like, yo, they know my name in those offices. Those gatekeepers don't want me there because I'll tell them what's really going on. I'm gonna get some new fresh meat in here because niggas is hustling the old package over and over, over and over. But when you realize I'm helping the talent that's going in those offices, when you realize I'm the guy, they gonna, you know, they understand.
Right.
That's why people invest in what I'm talking about. You know, it's only so long corporate America will keep like this black brother getting money in the street and in the industry and doing the right thing without having to do nothing, without investing in them. At some point, they're gonna be like, this makes sense. This is getting him in. Next thing you know, I'm doing bigger PS4 doing the same thing, just higher platforms. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes just doing music, you got to understand what is your strong points. You know, putting music on a high platform is my strong point.
Right. Yo, man, this whole conversation is dope, bro. Damn, man, you just dropped so many jewels just now.
Yo, but you know what's so crazy? I think also in that NYV era where I could say where I was missing that is that I wound up co-managing studios. I got tired of paying for studio time. So that was the first time I started knowing how to run something. Shout out to 906 Music. You know, I
remember I spoke to you about studio time.
I brutally learned there first. Like, and he you know, shout out to Power. I used to be like, yo, man, fuck this nigga Power. Gangster. But it was only because he was like, yo, charge them niggas $40. No, like, to rap? Like, yeah, nigga, they was here for 6 hours. Yo, can we get some money just to... Nah, I ain't got it. You see people, like, really leave you with the tab.
Yeah.
And when you see that happen, like, with your old... They're like, yo, so who's... Now I got to target people that's willing to spend for studio time.
Yeah.
So now when I'm advertising, I'm seeing different people cover 400, 500. Yo, Chambers, good looking. Thanks for setting up that studio time. Now I'm getting money, and he say, you see, those are the people that fuck with you. You got money, right? Right? Now you can move around, right? You ain't working, but you got a studio. You can rap whenever. And this is me with, I'm French though on the radio, running a studio.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And like people don't understand, like people don't even, like I use that whole city thing to understand business in the city. This is 50 was down the block. This is when me and Jack Thriller was cool. Like, right. And I always understood the behind the scenes. So like when you ask like, oh, why not the battle? Because I was busy trying to figure shit like that out while my niggas was killing shit. So that way I could come to the table like, yo, I just found out Jack Thriller. Yo, we need to be over here. Oh shit, Chambers, how you know? Because I'm talking to different people. You know what I mean? And it goes the same with this game with the PRs. Now it's the weed business. Everybody got a strand. You know, whatever you put your mind into is what you're going to do.
So the situation with you and French,
it really wasn't no situation with French. He just didn't get on the remix. You know what I mean? Ain't no situation. Let's just call a spade what it is. He didn't get on the remix. That was tight. And it wasn't like he didn't know the record and he didn't know we know all the same people.
Right.
And I just think, you know, sometimes some people may say the people I was hanging around at the time, he probably wasn't really fucking with like that either. You don't know. Probably wasn't even about you. So once I started looking at shit like that, and then I'm also looking like, yo,
you didn't take it personal.
Nah, but when a year later happens, and then I realized me and Jacquay did a record called We Ain't Bout It, me and Cover, and then he comes out with that sample, and then another one comes out. Like I'm like, hold up, now I'm blown away now. I said I was feeling like French though. I ain't mean all this to happen. You know what I'm saying? Like, and some people was like, yo, maybe it was the producers that was also guilty of being in the studios when you was playing this shit.
Right.
So maybe they just took the beats over there. They ain't take the words. They just took the beats and the sound samples and made it seem like this is something new to him, which is also symbolic to the same bounce, the same type of sound that I fuck with.
Right.
So when of course, if I like it and we in that same shit, of course he's gonna take it too. The odds is there. So I looked at it like that, and I just stopped talking about it because sometimes, you know, you could block your blessings like that, and then, you know, people would say all that shit in the dark and then be cool with the nigga the next day. Be like, oh, yo, I ain't call Chambers. I'm about to get over French, nigga. Fuck that. Don't call Chambers. But then some people like, nah, Chambers, you need to pull up. He over here, man. That nigga ain't, come on, man. That nigga a millionaire. He ain't think about that. And then it's the part of me like, man, I see him. Mm-hmm. I'm doing me. I mean, I don't want to keep seeing like I'm heckling or chasing someone. Right. That's not the case. You know what I mean?
If it happens, it happens. If it don't,
it would have been dope because let me just tell you something about my idea that I'm French Though record, right? Joyner Lucas did it. He said he felt like Will Smith.
Mm-hmm.
It happened, right?
I feel like I'm Will Smith.
Will Smith did it. Will Smith got on the record. It was fire, right?
Yeah. See, that was the follow up.
Okay. Right? Then you got J. Cole, Kevin Hart. Kevin Hart pulled up for the video shoot, right? Fire.
So you had the strategy of. This
is what I'm saying. So when I'm watching other people do it, I'm like, This is the shit I be talking. I'm not gonna blame it on some New York shit. I'll just be like, yo, damn, why it could? I was a step ahead of the game.
Yeah, I be feeling that same way with ideas, man.
But when you watching the records, I go a little too far. I tell niggas I brought that feeling like shit to the rap game. You know what I mean? When niggas be talking about they feeling like something, like, hold up. Nobody was, you had Rick Ross say he think he Big Meech. And then you had people that was thinking.
Right.
They wasn't feeling. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So when I hear niggas say it, and it's the same cadence or how I delivered it, I'm like, damn, my shit is still in the game.
Yeah. Now you got a valid point there, man.
I don't care what song you listen to. Like, niggas like, oh, you bugging that. No, check. You know what I mean? But, that's small talk. But you could just do your research. Right. So, like, when I say that to friends, I just do the music, whatever. We be in passing by seconds. We know all the same people. And like New York, it only takes a second to get next to people. They think it's 5 boroughs, but it takes a second.
Yeah. So busy.
It's a New York minute.
Yeah.
It's
The world
New York
is so
minute.
big but so small out here in New York. You
Right.
can bump into somebody in the middle of a second.
Right. But, like, I just been smashing all these remixes, targeting the Diddy's, targeting the Rosses, targeting when anything fire go out, I'm just doing the remix, bodying
On
it.
everything.
And I'm putting my young homies on it, their bodying it, and then now we're just shooting videos around the clock, and I'm watching the numbers kick up, and you know what I mean? And doing big shows and creating shows, You know what's happening next? As soon as the ball drop, boom, we're at SOBs. My goal is Irving Plaza and then the PS Theater, because what happens is people start to invest, and my mind is already there. This show's over already. Like, so many people know about it, and like, it's going to be past capacity. I know that. It's what it is.
Yo, I see you got a good relationship with my man, Gat Murder.
Shout out to Guy Murder, Brooklyn Way.
How y'all relationship transpired?
It's been in different ways, but I'll say what I remember. I remember being in Bed-Stuy, and we all used to be at what's my man's name, man? Ty and Snipe Studio. They used to be over there in the Star. They used to have the studio over there. That's where also NYB we used to record everything out of Ty and Snipe Studio. It was Ty, Snipe, Liaison, me, Bunky, Gat Murder. Gat Murder was from the Star, whatever. He always was rapping like hardcore.
Yeah,
he always rapped like for the 90s.
You watched me grow up, man.
Right, shout out to Gat Murder, you know what I mean? We played basketball and stuff. That's how I think we really got cool. Like, he was nice, I was nice too. So it's like we got cool through basketball, but mainly recording when all of us used to be recording in Ty Snipe Studio, me, him, Math, Bunky, Core, Head Ice even came over there. And with Gat, over the years, he created the Brooklyn Way. Because we knew Boom P, but, when we saw Money and Violence, we was like, oh, all this shit is fire. Me being where I'm at, I'm like, all of this shit is fire.
Right.
Money and Violence, Respect Life. But somehow Gat was so crafty that he got shot in the Respect Life, and he just happens to wake up in the coma in the Brooklyn Way. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, oh, you kept the story going.
Yeah.
So, and then I was just watching that sometimes, like, when he was still doing his thing, I used to be like, yo, they not calling me for this shit? I used to be like, yo, this is what I mean by niggas not supposed to. But I didn't ever take it that way with him because, like, he always been busy. And if he see you, he see you. If he don't see you, it's what it is. Sometimes, and that's what I learned in this industry, you don't know what somebody's going through, what he's doing. I don't know what Gat was going through that day. All I did was see a fire clip on YouTube and it's acting and I went in. You know what I mean? And later on, like probably a couple episodes, 9 episodes in, I'm on there. He got me in there doing my Morris Chestnut of this rap shit. Cause I tell niggas I'm heading that film direction. I'm definitely heading that direction. I went to John Dewey, same school as Spike Lee. But back in the days, I used to be like, damn, I went to do it. Now I take more pride in it because I know what came out of that school. Like a lot of educated pioneers came out of that school. No, I didn't finish, but I went there.
You still got the experience.
All 4 years of it, you know what I'm saying? Just didn't finish. You know what I mean? That's just all it is, But look where I'm at now, and that's what matters the most.
Factory. Yo, man, I want to give a special shout out, man. Thank you for coming. Yo, man, this is King Ace Network, Moments of Clarity. Shout outs to my homegirl Meeks, Brooklyn Balance, your boy Clip Films, D-Chamberz, man. D-Chamberz, thank you, bro.
Oh,
this
yo,
was
man,
like,
yeah. Yo,
this
I'm
was
telling
dope,
you,
man.
Boom Bap, the drill rap is out now.
Right.
Go, you know, they say I got 1 million in streams. I gotta go check that out.
Definitely gotta
Like,
check that out.
They told me that. You know what I mean?
I gotta pull up, man.
That means the plaque is coming.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? If I get that. Like, these are things that go in my office. I do have an office, studio. You know what I'm saying? Because people ask me, why do you keep going? Because I really live off what I love doing. I don't second guess myself.
Right.
When everybody else is talking and this, that, never second guess yourself. Because sometimes you could be crazy enough for people to understand what you're doing. And you'd be surprised what comes out of that. Man, I'm proof of it because I'm the guy who always just played the back. When I knew everything.
That's what we saw throughout the years.
Yeah,
too.
and this is why I say sometimes you can over support and you can just see, oh, he was chilling with him. Oh, car, chain, everybody know. All right. He was, and after a while, it's like, yo, damn, why aren't you doing it? It was me. I can't blame them. They can't tell me, yo, rap more. I had to just want it more. I wanted more, and I had to want it more. You know what I mean? And I just started displaying that. And some people be like, yo, when you moving at God's speed, it may seem like an opportunist. That's just because you waited so long. When somebody do it, it's like, yo, damn. Some people be like, it happened so fast. Yo, that nigga foul. That's fucked up. Like, they don't even know how it happened until they hear it. And then they be like, nah, I ain't mad at him. And there's some people who just understand that. You know what I mean? And that's what I learned. Because a lot of times, like, case in point, let's use Smack, for instance.
Right.
I don't battle rap, right? My man just punched everybody out in this shit, right? Am I supposed to stop calling Smack? He didn't do it.
Yeah.
He ain't got shit. Yo, Smack, what up? Yo, pull up over here, man. Come talk to me. Now, I go. I don't cut ties. I really don't burn bridges. You know what I'm saying? That's just what it be.
You learn to stay where you at with it. You neutral with everybody. You respect everybody. Everybody respects you.
Word.
You know what I mean?
I come from that era where you can't dead the plug completely.
Yeah.
Give him something.
Give him something.
You know what I'm saying? Answer
Give
the
him
phone.
something. Yeah.
Reach out. You know what I'm saying? Like, because if you don't do that, they're like, yo, they think about it. But like, yo, you know what? I know he got me. He don't feel left out. He don't feel like you did him filthy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like sometimes when people move like that, like, yo, man, fuck that the plug. You know, some people be joking, some people saying it because they rap, but it's some people who really mean it.
Right.
And their characteristics show in 10 other things that they're doing. So my thing just be like heavy on the characteristics, heavy on being honorable, shit like that, like really flying high like a bald eagle, like minding my business, G5 in it, like for real. Because a lot of times people, you get caught in traffic, man, you don't even know why you just on this life treadmill. You don't.
I mean, sometimes you get, when you focus, sometimes things, situations, you know, people could take you away from that. And, you know, what it seems like is what you always say now is you never allow nobody to distract you away from your goal, no matter what they got into, no matter what they did. You was always focused on what your goal was.
Like, case in point, sometimes like people, like this interview, right? It's a Saturday. You know, we'll say public information. I don't know when it'll come out.
Right.
But it's the weekend. Some people like, yo, man, they ain't investing into themselves. They don't want to come and do stuff like this, cool convos like this. Niggas be like, yo, what's going on tonight, though, man? Shorty just like my picture. I'm about to link up with yo.
Right.
Niggas is bugging. But when you invest in your career, they're like, yo, when it's constant this, it's only going to keep going up. And that's what they'll know you for. And that's what they'll know you for. So when they see you could do stuff like that, they're like, no, he'll separate the two. I seen him doing good business. He's been working for this long. Right. I'll give him the money.
He's reliable. He wants
I don't know why they don't like him. I think he does great business. They be like, yo, that nigga whack. Not his business, though. His business is fire.
He's reliable.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
he's reliable.
He's here.
Yeah.
The real thing.
We
You know
know
what I mean?
he's
We're
gonna
not
show up.
fabricating. We're not over talking. You ask me, I tell you. It's no cutting no ties and not saying no funny shit too much. That's why I be like, no time for the small talk, warrior mentality. I be really serious about that. Wow.
Yo, man, this was a dope-ass episode. Shout outs to everybody in the room.